Hey, what is going on? I'm Corey and I run a five-figure AI automation business. And today, what we're going to go through is leads. So, most founders think that they have a lead problem, but they actually have a conversion opportunity and a conversion problem. So, this video is going to walk through three high leverage points in the sales cycle where automation can actually rescue all of this revenue that's lost. So, sounds like something interesting. Let's jump right into it. So, as we said, Mr. Ramsey is always right with these leads are cold, so you have to defrost them first. And a lot of people just neglect leads. So they'll, especially the smaller businesses, the bigger ones sort of understand how important they are, but they'll maybe attend a sales call, they'll maybe get a positive reply as an email back, but then they just leave it there. Maybe they follow up once and then that's it. There's no real system of uh, keeping in touch with these leads. And this becomes incredibly important as we get further down and we sort of increase revenue of the business, because it's like this, right? These are all leads, and then maybe this one didn't come in, this one didn't come in, this one came in. And as we start getting more and more leads coming in, so the business is obviously starting to scale up like this, these little ones often get forgotten. So we're getting these, and then our time's being taken up, and we're trying to get as many actual converted leads going in. Now, that's a lot of people view it as not that big of an issue. However, if I started putting a dollar sign on these, and let's say they are $5,000, now it becomes a big issue. And now, and the problem is people aren't viewing these leads as a number, essentially. I know that sounds wrong. Bear with me. Because if we put them there, we say, okay, there's 10K right there. Right here, this is a 10K loss. All right. L. I mean, 15K is here, and then another 5K here. So 5K here. So we have 10 here. So yeah, sure, you've closed 2, 5, 6 leads, but you've also missed out on what 20K worth of revenue just from there. So as this sort of goes further and further down the scaling pot of the business, there becomes a larger number, and it becomes unnoticeable because there's so many other leads coming in. So it's super important to make sure we are getting every lead and maximizing the opportunity as much as possible. So you're not missing leads, you're missing sales. Most businesses focus only on acquisition, but conversion links are more costly. So as you can see there, if we use just this side for an example, I mean, that's 10, that's 25, that's 40K here, right? And that's wonderful. This is 40K one, but what it's actually lost is what, 20K. So you can see people look at this number only, but they're missing one of the bigger opportunities. So how do we fix this? It's going to be three very simple short flows that you can missions. Now, anyone who's watched all my videos, I always harp on about missed calls and missed sales, but it is the number one killer. So, for example, 72% of callers who don't reach a business won't call back. 72%. Now, that is huge, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. And there's a lot of business commitments in life that, that maybe you're in a meeting, maybe you went to the toilet and you've missed, a $5,000 deal, a $2,000 deal, whatever the cost of your deals are. But it's going to be huge, and it can be solved so simply. If we just jump into Make, we can build something that's incredibly simple that will just detect that there's a missed call on the phone and to just send them a text message. You can send them a call back if need be, but usually a text message is fine. Um, but this becomes incredibly important in service-based industries, uh, tradies, constructions, real estate is a lot. Let's just build something. So really, it can be as simple as Twilio watch for something coming new. Obviously, there would probably be HTTP. If you're going into some sort of like your provider, your phone provider, and we just watch, and then we can add it to a Google Sheet. I would probably add a row just so you can track them as calls, and then we can go to Twilio and just send a message just like that to the person that was in the Google Sheets that we've missed. It's a very, very simple flow. This could also placed, and we could put another one of these and send it to Vappy. So give them a callback, or 11 Labs, whatever you prefer. We could send them a message if we're going into like a WhatsApp. If you have the business message, you can send a message through there. But there's always a way that we can get around this. Just detecting a missed call on the phone and then going straight to a message. So just fixing that, an instant message, SMS responder. This would obviously say something like, hey, missed your call. Just busy at the moment. I'll give you a call back in 10 minutes, or something like that. Give you a call back in an hour, just after the meeting. You can even go to the extent of real estate works really well is during the sales rep. The sales reps have home showing. You get a AI caller to call them back, and you say, hey, this is Corey's personal assistant. He's just at a showing at the moment. Is there anything I can help you with? And that works fabulously. The second one is quote follow-ups. So what happens is people will send quotes. So they'll get the quote, and then maybe one day later, they'll follow up. Let's go. Follow up. F-up's not any better. And then that's all they do. And then they just cut it there, and then they go, oh, no, that guy isn't interested. He doesn't want this service. And this is the issue. Like, we should be having at least a 3-day value-based follow-up. You know, number one might be like, hey, just checking in. Do you have any questions? Number two might be like, hey, I saw this article, and it reminded me of you. Here's the link. Just checking in as well. Did you have a chance to view that quote I sent over? Something like that. I mean, that may not work in certain industries. Obviously, like a tradie's not going to be like, here's a plumbing article I read about fixing your toilet. It reminded me of you. But you can definitely do it with a lot of these online service-based businesses. With the tradies, we can obviously follow up a lot more. Now, this could be as simple as going, let's go to Zapier. Okay. Let's just go. And I'm just going to use Zapier because it's a lot easier for the logic pathing for this. Because Make, obviously, will need to do some custom formulas. But if you're watching this, you're probably not at that level of doing it. So this is showing you exactly how you can do it very simply. So we can put Panda, let's say Panda Doc or some sort of document, Panda Doc sent to client and waiting for them to sign, i.e. status change, send 3 follow-up emails, something like that, and then just send it away. It's not going to be perfect, so you don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I'll show you how to fix it once we get into it. So document status change. This will be changed to a send status and then send out emails. We click try. So we have it in here. Now, the status change will send out day 1 email, day 2. What we need to do is we need to include delays. In here and here. Just do to do this. So this one we can do a delay of. A delay of. And then also we'd want we would want add a condition part of if status for each email and if true. So you can see how easy this is. We've got your first is API at the beginning. You just put in the template, and then you can just use this Copilot to add the conditions and put in what you need. Right? So we can have like a filter here if document status change contains completed, then obviously they've been paid, and then we can sort of end it from there. So very, very simple to implement something like this. And then, so we trigger a 3-day value-based follow-up sequence tied to the CRM pipeline. Now, this doesn't have to be PandaDoc. This can be, this could be changed with a variety. If you could go straight from the actual, I don't think Go High Level's on here, actually. You go straight from the actual CRM. Just work out tag changes, really. So if the tag is still under booking, then obviously continue the 3-day sequence. So we can use tags as well for this. And the third one is reactivation of dead pipeline. Now, that story is that I have. I was talking to a real estate agent and a client, and we were trying to work out how to get more leads coming in, right? And what they said is I was trying to work out whether we run like Google Ads and whether we sort of add these automations to do like sort of inbound versus outbound stuff. So I said to him, let's get an AI phone caller. Let's look at reactivating the past leads for a real estate agent, which sounded great. So what's the numbers? How much you got in this database? And they had 20,000 past leads, 20,000 contact details that people that were renting, previous renters, houses sold, people that came through home opens, sellers, buyers, conjunctional buying agents. There was a lot of clients in there, right? So if you really put that into perspective, if there's 20,000 and we even get 1% of that, it's 200 leads instantly, right? It's a big number to just ignore. And this was probably about 10 years into business. So if you imagine a business that is growing longer, I mean, we could reactivate and possibly book 20 calls just by one campaign, probably a month to get through this, whether we go phone. Because really phone calls will yield higher than this. This is based on emails. But this is a huge number. So a very simple way that we can do this. Let's go back into Make. I just closed it. Very simple way that we can do this is pull the data from the CRM and move it to, you can either do this manually or through Make. I'll just show you through the automation. But there's this great site called Bravo, and it's free to a degree. There's plenty of other ones as well. But I find Bravo is great for this sequencing for mass email sequencing. So we say, this happens, like Zapier, this happens, I want to email these people, these are what's going in each email. And you can see we've got 300 emails a day that can be sent to an emailing list, and it's very reasonable prices for all of it. Now, this is what I prefer with it. I wonder if we can see some of it in action without me logging in. No, it's not. But you get the picture. And what the great thing is Brevo is actually integrated with a lot of these no-code platforms. So we can see Brevo, we can get a list, create a list, create contacts. But what we want to do is to create a list in here. And then from the first part, we can either do like a Google Sheets, like from here, right? No, it's not going to be watch rows, but we could link them like that. So we could automatically import them into here. But in terms of maybe they're tagged, so we could do HubSpot. Let's go HubSpot. Hub stuff. Nope, that's not the one. So if you have a CRM, we could watch sort of like tags being added. We can add a tag that after 3 months, they get a tag of cold lead or something like that. When that tag triggers, it can then automatically do this. We can then automatically get it to add to Brevo. Now, this doesn't have to be done through me. You can do this through Zapier. But this way, the moment, so 3 months would equal a tag going on the account, which then puts it into Brevo or some sort of emailing sequence. And then they would re-engage him with, this is for emails, they would then re-engage him for, I don't know, a 6-month email plan, where we sort of just keeping them, trying to warm them up, really. And if you're in real estate, it would be like sending weekly newsletter reports and updates, and hey, you're in X suburb, so we can add a bit of more complicated logic. Here's the statistics for this suburb. Well, you can do it like that. We can also, as we did before, we can also put it through Twilio. We can put it through some sort of messaging. We could put it through phone calling. But the main thing is, it's a simple one or two that we can just go through based on the tagging system that you put here. So the end of it, you don't need more leads. You need more smart triggers, timely follow-ups, re-engagement, workflows, and automation and leads that become revenue. So you don't want to neglect the ones that we've put up here. These guys here could all be placed in a follow-up sequence. So we could do it in order. So we could do it in a like a proposal down to the follow-up F-up. And then if they don't do that, we can then put them into the 6-month sequence based on tags. So tags can be in here, and this is what's determining all of them. So tag this. So I hope that makes sense. It's really the point I wanted to get across, that we don't need to go hunting for leads all the time. You'll be surprised if you go through leads that you've spoken to that have gone cold, previous clients. You'll find that you're not actually following up with any of them, and you'll find that a lot of them are just sitting there ready for taking, ready to get more work coming in. You're ready to reactivate them, and it's just another source of revenue. And you'll be surprised that if you look at total worth of the cold leads to your actual hot leads that are coming in monthly, it'll be a very large percentage, and it's a huge gap that a lot of people are missing. So on that note, I'm going to call it there. If you have any questions or specific comments, put it in the comments or send me an email. My email is in the description of this video. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow.